Good morning, boys and girls. Hope you're having a happy Wednesday, middle of the week. We are going to, this video won't be very long. I just want to share with you something that you're going to be working on today in connection with the work that you did on Monday with Mrs. Pearl, which is with your top 3 book list. And before we talk a little bit about what's on the screen right now, in the coming days, your teacher will be sharing with you a reading and writing slideshow for summer reading and writing, which has tons and tons of resources and Padlets for book titles and writing ideas. And, between that slideshow and what we're about to make today, or what you're going to be making in the next, with these book reviews, is another resource for you. So myself and the teachers really want to send you off for the summer, excited about reading, giving you lots of options for reading. And so let's get busy and start talking about what today's assignment is. So as I mentioned, you are going to do a book review. And what's a book review? Well, it reviews the book, tells us a little bit about it, and it's going to be a book review / recommendation. So your teacher is going to provide this slide. I have an example here, but they're going to provide this example slide and a blank slide for you to create your own. And the idea is that you will choose one of your 3 books to do this with. So I'm going to show you this as an example. The title of the book that I chose to do this is actually a former student's. I had her a couple of years ago. It's called Small as an Elephant. And you're going to provide the author, and the author of this book is Jennifer Richard Jacobson. Then we have the genre. Now remember, the genre is the type of book it is. So what are some types of books we have? Well, we have realistic fiction versus what we just read, which was historical fiction, right? They're both fiction, which are made up stories. This one could happen in real life, and arguably the historical fiction did too, but it's written with historical content, right? So, and realistic fiction is different than just fiction. Fantasy is a fiction as well. So if you do a fantasy book, you can certainly write fantasy, or you could just write fiction. Maybe you do a nonfiction book. Maybe you do a mystery, fairy tales and folk tales, whatever your book might be. And then, of course, your recommendation should have your name. You're not writing a former 4th grader because you're not a former 4th grader. You still are a 4th grader for a couple more days with us. But I did not ask this particular student to share her work, so I did not want to reveal her name. I know she wouldn't mind. So here's the most important part of your book review, which is the kind of like a book blurb or summary. So think about a book blurb, right? It kind of gives you the gist of the story, quickly introducing characters and basically what the problem is without telling us what actually happens. So let's read this one together. Small as an Elephant is a story about a little boy named Jack. That's the main idea, right? Just about a boy. In the book, Jack loves elephants. He also plans to go camping with his mom in Maine. One morning he wakes up and everything is normal except for one thing. He can't find his mom. This has happened many times before back in Boston, but he realizes searching for his mom in Maine is not the same as searching for her in a small place like Boston. He searches shop to shop, steals for the first time, and much more in order to find his mom. With determination and perseverance, do you think he can find her and not get either of them in the most trouble they could ever imagine? And you have to read the rest to find out. What you'll also find here is if you can copy and paste an image from the internet and put that also, it's always helpful to see a visual of the cover page. The cover of the book. And the last part is what I call an editorial. And if you go into a newspaper, an editorial is usually an opinion piece, okay? And in some cases written by the editor, but certainly other people can write pieces as well. So I want you to sort of give your opinion about this book. So here is an example. I thought that this book was very mysterious and engaging. I couldn't put it down. That's the girl's opinion. But I also want you to include, who do you think would like this book? So it says, I think that it would be great for people who love page-turning books with a touch of mystery. Okay? So maybe that would entice you. Now, your slides are going to also have, so it's going to have this, and then you're going to get a blank one. And again, your teacher will give you the example so that you can refer back to it, just so you can see the format and sort of the language that's kind of used. Again, your idea is to kind of give a snapshot of the story without giving it away. And in the end, you'll have an entire collection. If you have 20 students in your class, you'll get 20. And if you have 21 students in your class, you'll get 21 stories. Well, 20, because you'll be the 21st person. Anyway, have fun with this. It's going to be a great keepsake for you to have for yourself as you go off into the summer. And again, it's not something random. The reason why we did the top 3 list is so that you can choose one of those books. If you'd like to do more than one, I would just reach out to your teacher and make sure that she knows that you are interested in doing more than one book. And I imagine that they would be more than happy to let you do a second. But just to communicate that with your teacher. Okay? Have fun doing this. Celebrate the reading that you've done this year. Be proud of the book that you chose, and do your best to convince your fellow 4th grade classmates to pick up that book this summer. Have a great day. Good luck, and I can't wait to read your book reviews. I wasn't ready.